Yeah. Help
I
me.
can't help you pee.
No, but you
We're in the area out here, right?
can accompany me, sir.
Accompany you where?
To the bathroom, sir.
Where at?
You can...
There's lots of places you go to the
What
bathroom.
do you mean?
You
Can
go.
I pay you?
No,
Oh my gosh.
I don't take money for that.
Fake. Alright, come on.
Come
Are
on,
you
what?
ready?
Ready for what?
No.
Why are you so wet? Are you sweating?
No, silly. I can't.
People don't generally act like this when they have to pee. Have you taken something tonight?
No.
It's not a crime to tell me that you've taken something. I just want to make sure you're
what
okay.
happened?
You're acting like you're high out of your
Oh
mind.
gosh, I'm not acting, sir.
Okay.
I am.
You are high out of your mind?
Yeah.
What'd you take?
Huh?
What'd you take?
Nothing, sir.
What's got you being so goofy?
So what?
What's
so
got
goofy?
you? Yeah. Did you use a little bit of meth today, or is it just crack?
Did I personally?
Yeah.
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
Well, I realize that you do have to pee, but
Yikes.
this isn't what people act like when they have to pee.
Yeah. Please have it. Have it, sir.
Have what?
Have it.
What am I supposed to have?
I'm gonna cry. Yes.
Okay. You want me to take you? You want me to take you to the EF so you can go to the bathroom?
They don't have a bathroom.
Well, I can probably get you in there.
Are you ready?
Where are you going?
Huh?
Do you want me to take you there so you can go pee and you stop freaking out?
Sir.
Okay.
Oh, I don't feel good, sir.
Do you want me to get a medic for you?
Oh, no, sir. That's crazy.
Okay.
Wow.
Go ahead and slide in here.
Oh, wow. Oh, sir. Oh, my back.
Hop in so I can take you there.
Oh. 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 Oh.
Put your leg in.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah? One I two. I'm gonna have a 5-1 over the DEF out of this if you got the other code in there.
Okay.
Yeah, what was the address again that the homeowner lives? How long ago?
Yes.
Copy is that place where needed, sir?
Not yet.
Copy.
Oh, God! No!
Yeah, if you need a car to go over there, she said she's going over to get her, but I don't have a lot of confidence in her. We can send the car over there to just to have the homeowner. If she has to go in her house, that's all.
Down goes Frazier! Oh! Please. Oh! Please! Help! Oh! I'm gonna pee on myself.
Okay, let's go inside.
Ow!
This way.
I'm gonna pee on myself, sir. Oh,
Hang on.
come on, don't do that.
Turn this way. Thank you, buddy.
Oh, don't do that. Come on.
We'll probably see you in a little while.
Can you at least like hold my arm?
No, we're gonna hold on like
I'm
this.
running nowhere, sir.
I know, but you're acting really weird.
Oh, this isn't fair. I don't even have underwear on.
All right.
This isn't fair. What's your name?
We're gonna go to the Vexio again.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Have a seat.
But I don't have to go all the way in, correct?
Yes, you do.
Why? Wait, am I being detained?
You are definitely being detained.
Why?
Because you're acting crazy.
No, but you guys picked me up.
I know I did, but I'm doing this for your own safety.
Oh,
Because you're not acting normal.
No, I'm not, sir.
It's okay. Just tell me.
Do you know that I got chased?
Okay. Tell me what you took
I
tonight.
didn't take anything, sir.
What'd you take yesterday or earlier?
Nothing, sir.
What drugs do you normally use?
I don't normally use drugs, sir. Back in the day, I played sports,
Mm-hmm.
and I got into an injury,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. Percocet, that's it.
Okay.
Sure.
Do you have any mental problems? You
I mean,
don't?
depression.
Okay. When's the last time you were at the hospital for treatment for anything?
Today.
You were at the hospital today?
I'm in treatment, sir.
Treatment for what?
Drug and alcohol.
Okay. What drugs do you normally use?
I don't normally use drugs.
What drugs are you getting treatment for?
Opiates.
Opiates? Okay.
Oh, yes. Sir.
Why are you acting so crazy tonight?
Oh, man.
Because you're not
Because
acting
of my
normal.
OCD, sir.
Okay.
And I have this cough, sir.
Okay. Well, let's get you to the hospital for
No,
more
sir.
treatment.
I don't want to go to the hospital.
What hospital were you at?
They scare me. I wasn't in a...
You said you were at the hospital today for treatment.
Okay, well, here's the scoop.
Uh-huh.
I was at, what's it called? Mats.
Okay.
That's it. Sir?
Well, listen.
I'm
You're not acting like someone who is sober, okay?
Because I'm not, technically.
If you're not sober, what are you on?
I'm not driving, so
Oh,
I
no.
can't be arrested.
Well, you can. It's
sir.
disorderly conduct. You're not allowed to be out.
Huh?
You're not allowed to be out on the street acting the way you're acting.
I'm not acting.
It's your behavior.
Oh my gosh, but I was totally fine until you set me up.
You weren't. You were rolling around on the ground
When?
right before I picked you up.
Oh no, sir.
Uh-huh.
There's... Oh my goodness.
So what is making you behave in this way?
You know what is?
What?
Police officers.
Okay.
That's all I can think of.
Well, you were acting like this before the police got involved, I promise.
No.
Yeah, because I saw you.
No.
Okay.
Me and my girlfriend, that's our business.
Okay.
She decided to be a stupid head
Uh-huh. Where do you live?
and live in Canal Winchester.
Canal Winchester? You're a long ways away from Canal Winchester.
Because...
Okay. Go ahead and put your feet out. I'm going to shut the door for a second.
I'm hot.
I need you to.
No, I said I'm hot.
I'm going to turn the air conditioner.
Alrighty, so I'm here. I've actually been here for a minute or two, but I was enjoying the video myself. I haven't watched that one in a long time. There's like, I don't know, it's about halfway through that particular video. And I think the officer just kind of argues with her for a little while, takes her to the hospital. And then when they get there, oh, you know what? I'm going to play this last little bit. Because it was one of the things about this video is this was recorded during preseason football season. And she said something about the Browns, and it got a lot of chuckles from people. Let me do this again. Here we go.
Gary, right? When he finds out, he's gonna take my life. What is your move? Huh? How about them mother? Yeah, I'm tired, huh? How about them motherfucking Browns?
The Browns did play today, didn't they?
Huh?
The Browns played tonight, didn't they?
Did they really motherfucking
I don't know. I don't have cable.
fucking got it!
Well, it's still the preseason.
Hey, no, that don't matter, bro. Preseason counts.
No, it doesn't count.
So that's gonna be man. I this live stream already went off the rails. But my question for everybody, real quick, is: does the preseason count? Because she disagrees with me, and she thinks that the preseason does count. Personally, I don't think it does. Brett, you're gonna get banned if you keep that up. And Jeff, thank you for starting the night off. I really do appreciate that. Have I mentioned before? It's awkward to me when you guys give me money. I really, really appreciate it. I really do. I don't know how to graciously accept it. So thank you very much. I think, let's see, we've got about almost 40 people here. So let's get into it. I need to get serious. So the purpose of tonight's live stream, what we're going to talk about, is going to be the shooting that happened in Grand Rapids. Let me turn this stupid banner off. And it was I don't know how to pronounce the guy's name. Patrick Lyoya. This happened happened last Monday, and I think it was Wednesday. I got a text from a buddy who said, have you heard about the shooting in Grand Rapids? And I said that I had not, because on Wednesday I spent my entire day editing, which is pretty normal for me. And I don't look up very much. I was editing body camera stuff, and I was working, wasn't paying attention. And do that. Blackheart, thank you very much for the $10. It's very gracious. And I said, no, what's going on? He said, well, get ready for riot season. I was like, oh, great. So I looked up the shooting, and I saw what I saw. We're going to go over that here in a minute, but I have Twitter up because Twitter is obviously the place to go when you're looking for deep, intelligent thought that is based in reality and facts and all that kind of stuff. So let's see, just some of the comments. The police officer that shot here, can you guys see that? Does it matter? Do you guys need it to be bigger, or is it all right if I leave it smaller? I'll try to keep an eye on the comments. So the police officer that shot Patrick Lyoya in Michigan should not just be fired. He should be tried for murder in the first degree. Let's see. Oh, here's one that's somewhat fair. So the officer was clearly struggling to gain control. You could tell by the high-pitched commands he was out of breath. 2-minute altercation. That's not bad. Too small. There you go. Bigger. Too small. That's not something I hear very often. Anyhow, I gotta keep this appropriate. I'm sorry. So back to this Patrick Lyoya. Let's see. Someone saying, sadly, I don't think there will be any charges. And then there's people saying, why isn't the police officer in jail? There's a lot of people posting the video. I saw, I don't know what's that guy's name? That attorney that represents all of these families. That, like, if a white police officer kills a black person, this one Crumb is his last name. I can't remember his first name, and I don't want to name the wrong person. Oh, there he is, Ben Crumb. I don't want to scroll up too much further because he's playing the video of the shooting. And is it Crump? Oh, it is Crump. I didn't even read the whole thing. Shows you how much respect I have for the guy. Well, and I'll just so I don't forget, when I do play the video, I'm not going to play the actual shooting part. I'm going to cut off right before that. Mostly because I don't want YouTube to age restrict this video. I think we're going to have a decent conversation about it. Kind of play it from beginning to end from my perspective. And what I'm going to do, obviously I've seen all the footage. I've watched it a couple times, but I'm going to try to play it the way that I saw it the first time and kind of give you what was going through my head at the time. And then we'll get to the end and kind of talk about how I feel about it now. That's kind of my plan for today. So, but this guy, Ben Crump, says, what is it? Newly released footage shows that Grand Rapids police officer shooting an unarmed Patrick Lyoya while he was on the ground facing away from the officer. Patrick never used violence against the officer, even though the officer used violence against him. I'm not quite sure that is accurate. Says that he was brutally mad. These are some of the semantics that people play that are dangerous, in my opinion. Says he was brutally murdered by a cop for bad tags. Did that police action make America safer? Those are the types of things that they're completely misrepresenting what happened. And it's very frustrating because there's a lot of people that aren't very smart that they'll just see stuff like that and they believe it. Let me see. I've got the video. I didn't really prep. Well, I did prep. What I did is I went on the internet to the Grand Rapids released a really long breakdown of the shooting with all these different angles and everything. And I downloaded that and I clipped out some of the dead time and some of the stuff I thought wasn't necessary, and I made my own video. It's not one that I'm going to post. I just did it for the purpose of tonight. Got that right here. All right, Mark, thank you very much. And most importantly, Mark Lewis, thank you for getting the it's too small message off the screen. Anyway. Oh, you know what? I have to text. There was somebody who is a very avid follower of the channel, and they missed my last live stream and asked that next time I go live, I send them a message. So I'm going to do that real fast because I'm such a professional that this is how I do it, right live on stream. Where's she at? Oh no. It's not a comment. Well, okay, I don't understand how Facebook for Business works. Christy, I'm sorry if you're watching this later. I can't find your message to reply back to you. But anyway, so I will go ahead and make this bigger again. It's better that this is bigger and I'm smaller anyway. So this is the video that was put out by the Grand Rapids Police Department. We'll watch a little bit of the beginning of this and then we'll go through. I don't know. It'll make sense in a minute. So it says this critical incident community briefing will provide you with the information about a recent officer involved shooting that occurred on April the 4th, 2022. Oh, good. Mark. Gotcha. Sorry. Tell Christy. I'm sorry. She's probably watching, but anyway, I missed a part, but this is all basically your, stuff where they're just trying to set you up and they talk about all their little legal disclaimers and all that. This part was like 5 minutes of the video and I cut it down. They're talking about how the city and the state will do the investigation, how long the investigation takes, and that they don't start their administrative investigation until after they get the packet back from the other bodies that are doing it. And then they put a little disclaimer in there about this part right here that my face is kind of covered up. About how, you're not seeing everything from the perspective of the officer and yada, yada, yada. That kind of stuff kind of annoys me when I see it in these kind of briefings because it's like they're already making excuses. And I think if you think the officer was trained properly and acted according to his training, you don't need to make excuses. You just come right out, say, hey, here's what happened. Here's the facts. Any questions? David, this question right here about body cameras turning off. They do all the time. If you're fighting with people, it happens. I had one It was actually one that I went to internal affairs about last summer. It was a domestic violence. The only information that I had was that one sister was beating up the other sister. One sister was an adult. She was over 21. The other one was a minor. I showed up on scene, and some female comes storming out of the house, yelling, screaming. I ask her to stop. She doesn't stop. I end up grabbing onto her. She starts calling me all these racial slurs, homophobic slurs. And she's like, I have her arm and she's pushing into me like super, super hard. And I didn't know if she was actually my suspect or not. I just thought maybe she was. So I wasn't going to let her go until I got confirmation that I wasn't literally letting a domestic violence suspect leave. While she was doing that to me, she bumped my camera and it turned off. About an hour and a half later, after we'd already let her go, and she had been calling. Radio was blowing up saying, hey, this person keeps calling. We've already transferred to them internal affairs, all these other sorts of things. We're like, okay, we didn't do anything wrong. It's fine. And then about an hour into the real situation that we were supposed to be there for, one of my buddies looks at me and goes, hey, your body camera's off. And I was terrified because I turned it back on. I was like, son of a gun. I was like, this woman is calling internal affairs on me because I put my hands on her. She's going to say I used excessive force. There's no video to show my side of the story, whatever. When we watched the body camera back, it was clear as day that during my camera was on and then all of a sudden it wasn't. And both of my hands were on her. So that part doesn't bother me at all. Oh, so here's the part where, and for those of you who don't know, on Monday, April the 4th, 2022, at approximately 8:11 a.m., Grand Rapids police officer observed a vehicle with an improper Michigan registration driving west on Grigg Street, southeast from Newark Avenue, southeast. The officer followed the vehicle and performed a traffic stop. So the traffic stop, the actual violation was tags that don't match the car. They don't give a lot of details about that, but let's just say the tags came back to a Chevy and they were on a Dodge, so that is an alarm bell to a police officer that there's something fishy going on with this car. Something that's quite frequently found on stolen vehicles or people who are out actively committing crime. They'll swap out the tags on their car. There's no sound on much of the first part of the video. They're just going through what happened, where it happened. Pretty soon, the cruiser video will start up. Oh, so this is the part where I went ahead and I edited this in because on the briefing, what they do is they take you directly to the cruiser video and then they walk you through step by step by step. And at the end of the time, you have a pretty good idea of what happened. The problem is the general public, including myself, when you heard that this happened and you looked it up for the first time, what you saw was a little bit of cell phone footage. So that is the part that I have here first. I want to play that first, and then we're going to go watch the entire thing and see if maybe our opinion changes a little bit, having all of the information.
Yo, Pat, you good? Yo,
Put your hands behind your back.
Don't grab him like that, though.
I know, but I'm just saying, man. I'm a black man too. I don't.
Yeah.
Man, come on, man. You do what you say.
1950. Start with some more cars.
Okay.
No, he said he's good, but man, yo, what's up, man?
No, just. Want nobody to get no work. Man, get the key.
Stop.
Okay.
Stop resisting.
Get the key.
No, he good. He not resisting nothing, bro.
Phone him or something or whatever you gotta do. Yo, come on. Hey, man, get the key. Come on, man. Y'all don't. Man, come on, man. What did you do? Come on. Man.
Okay, why you gotta do all that, bro? He good, man.
Let go of the taser.
No, like he good. Like you can talk to him, bro.
Ah!
Yeah, yeah. Like he good, bro. Like can you talk to him like good? Like can you? Yeah. Stop grabbing him like that.
No!
No, he good like for real. Yo, you hit him too. Hit that shit, bro.
Let go of the taser!
No, he ain't got no taser. I see that.
Let go of the taser!
Alrighty, let me pause that. So initially, when I watched this video, I saw the that cell phone video. I'm sorry, I just got distracted because I just noticed the one donation I had up a little bit ago. I thought it was $10. It was $100. And I can't really think straight thinking about that. Thank you very much, Mark and Christy. That's incredibly generous of you. I appreciate that. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a inside information. I found out that our friend that you're always asking about, I haven't been able to find him because he's in jail at the moment. So he's at least, I talked to him a couple of days ago and he was doing good. We were going to do something together. That didn't happen. And then turned out he picked up a warrant like a day later and got arrested. So thank you very much for the donation. I wanted to give you an update on that personally. So back to why bother recording if you aren't going to record the actual incident? I'm not sure what you mean, Laura, unless I saw the wrong part. Yeah. So if you just watch the cell phone footage, and that was all that I saw the first time, I had a lot of thoughts. That was only 30 to 45 seconds, maybe a minute tops of video. And you see an officer struggling with somebody. And while he's still physically struggling with someone, he gets his taser out. The suspect was pushing the taser down. He was trying to activate the taser. I believe the taser that he uses is called the X2, and it actually has 2 cartridges on the front. And I've never used this taser before. I've just heard it talked about. I have friends that have carried it. But there's a button that you can press and it won't go into probe mode. It'll just be like a stun gun, like one of those ones that women carry in their purses. It looked like it was in that mode and it wasn't firing probes, but either way, it got pushed down to the ground. So you see them struggle over that. Then they go to the ground. The officer is on top of the guy. The guy has the officer's taser and the officer's saying, "Hey, let go of my taser." Then he pulls his, that's right where the part that I stopped the video. He's drawing his weapon and then the gun goes off. It shoots the guy right in the back of the head. The first time that I watched it, I had a really sick feeling about what happened. My thoughts were that this officer might have freaked out, might have acted too soon, that he's not prepared to be in a physical confrontation with somebody. You have to be prepared for fights to last a little bit longer. It's weird when you're fighting with a suspect, something like that. Time slows down. Like an incident that only takes 10-15 seconds feels like it took like 2-3 minutes to you. So when you're on top of a guy and you're fighting with him and he's got your taser, it's only been 2-3 seconds, but it feels like it's been a minute, and you're afraid that you're going to lose your grip, and any second now he's going to turn around, he's going to tase you, incapacitate you, take your gun, and kill you. So that's what's going through this officer's head at that time. And the first time that I watched it, my initial reaction was, he went through his levels of force too quickly. That was my first reaction. I was like, bro, you've only been fighting for 30 seconds, 45 seconds. You got to learn how to just hang on tight and let backup arrive. But there's a lot more that happened here. And it's a good thing that the department released everything as quickly as they did. So we can watch that now and kind of go from there. So the next part we're going to watch is going to be the cruiser video. I'll try not to interrupt too much, but some people probably don't know how a lot of these systems work. When an officer pulls up behind a car and turns on his beacons, there's a little switch right here. You turn your beacons on, the red and blues come on. Usually the camera system is tied into that system. So the officer is following that car, his camera is not activated. He turns on his red and blues, the camera turns on, and this particular system has a 90-second look back. So it was able to record what happened for a minute and a half of you driving right before you turn on your lights and sirens. When you turn on that light bar and the camera turns on, that's when it goes with the microphone and everything syncs up. So that's what they were talking about there.
1915.
Hey, stay in the car.
Some of the stuff that was posted on Twitter was that this guy wasn't driving, that he was just sitting in a parked car, and that's clearly not the case.
Stay in the car.
Nelson and Griggs.
So this is that dance where, you know, when you pull over a car and they get out, your immediate reaction is like, hey, stay in your car, stay in your car, stay in your car. But after they've been out of their car for a certain period of time, then as an officer, you're like, you know what? I don't want you to get back in your car. That's when most of the training that I've been through is that especially if they're at this point, they're outside the car, the door is shut, that door is going to stay shut. They're not getting back in that car. You're going to go up, most of the time, secure them in handcuffs. If he had tried to do that right here, we already know that probably wouldn't have worked out, but that's what officers are trained. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because we're going to see the body camera.
Nelson and Griggs.
No. I'll say it again. The main takeaway for this part is that you can see very clearly the way he's resisting arrest. It wasn't that the officer was being overly aggressive with him. And that's the part that really shows in the body camera or the cruiser video.
1915. Yeah, one running. Northbound. One running northbound. Additional units, Nelson and Griggs. You're running around.
Here, I'm gonna step out of the way for a second. I'm gonna let this play because this fight, from the minute he aired that he had one running to the minute that you hear the shot fired, is 2 minutes and 35 seconds. I want you to watch it in real time so you can see how long it feels, and imagine that you're fighting with the suspect for that period of time.
Yeah, one running. Northbound. One running northbound. Additional units, Nelson and Griggs. You're running around. 1915, turn me some more cars. 1915, what's your location? What's your location? $19.15. How many cars you got going? Everyone.
All right, so that entire part was 2 minutes and 35 seconds. In my opinion, when I was watching it back, it seemed like an eternity. And I've been in that situation before, and it absolutely does feel like an eternity. Couple of things that I don't know if you picked up when you were listening to that part of the video. If you didn't, I would encourage you to watch it again sometime. Listen to the radio traffic. Because he initially, when the guy took off running, hey, Fredo, you can stop. I've had enough conversations with you over the past that I kind of know what you're about. It's a vehicle with tags that don't belong to it. It could have very easily been a felony vehicle. Could have been a felon trying to conceal the fact that he was a murderer and didn't want people running his tags. Could have been a stolen car. There's a lot of things. If that was your car and it had someone else's tags on it and this guy was driving it, you would expect the police officer to chase him. So you can stop. Anyway, yeah, so initially the guy airs that he's got one running, and you hear the dispatcher say, you know, where are you at? Give me another car, and another unit starts that way. Then they continue to fight and do all those stuff. The dispatcher keeps saying, hey, where are you at? Where are you at? Where are you at? And the officer wasn't answering up. Then after about a minute or so, somebody, I think it sounded probably a supervisor, says, hey, who do you have going? And he says, everybody. And everybody was 6 cars. So this is, it's a relatively large city, but not the biggest police department in the world. So it's terrifying if you're that officer and you know that there's not a lot of backup out there. So he's in a fight with somebody that could very easily become a fight for his life. And he can't hear anybody coming. You know, he's not hearing sirens. He's not hearing all that stuff. All he knows is that he's got a guy who is actively resisting. And every minute that fight continues, it becomes more dangerous for him. So I hope you guys were able to pick up on that. And then you heard the gunshot. I think I let it go for another second.
6 in total. Is this car still at Nelson and Gray? It is. 1915. I was just involved in shooting. Nelson Griggs. 1915, 10-4, Nelson and Griggs. Starting medical. Louis, Pull 23. Nelson, north of Greg, suspect down. 1920 on scene. 1610, was your subject? The access to any weapons and which way you take? 1950 has my taser.
Trying to skip ahead a little bit. I forgot that I left
In the car.
All right. So here's the body camera. So you can see yet another perspective. And then I'll
Hey, stay in the
pause
car.
this at times. Talk
Stay
about
in the
this.
car. Stay in the car. Get in the car. Dude, I'm stopping you. Do you have a license? Do you have a license?
For what?
I'm stopping you. Do you have a license?
What that?
Do you have a driver's license? Do you speak English?
Yes.
All right. So the stuff that this guy is doing, Patrick here, this is a game. He's trying to play the officer, and he's trying to get the officer to not do his job by playing this game. And he, at this point, he already knows that he's going to run. If you watch him talk, you can see his chest. His chest is just going. That's an immediate alarm bell. In my mind, if I had somebody that was doing this, I would have asked for another car as soon as this occurred. And then when I see the guy's chest pounding like that, I probably would have, I wouldn't go hands on right away, but I'd be ready to go hands on. And I would try to be as cool with him as I can to keep him calm and keep him from running. Because I'm marked out at a certain location. And if he runs, I'm not going to be there anymore when my backup arrives. So I want to try to stay in that position as much as possible. But it also, you could air for backup, and the second you do that, he's going to bolt. There's no real telling, but that's just something I would like to see. That actually, there's actually an explanation for maybe why he didn't air for backup right away here in just a hot moment.
I see your license.
What that is on?
The plate doesn't belong on this car. Do you have a license or no? Do you have a driver's license?
Yes.
Where is it at?
It's in the car.
Get it for me.
What that is on?
The plate does not belong on this car.
Amen.
And I'm also going to interject. A lot of people in their comments on Twitter, which, was where you go for intelligent thought, they're saying that this is racism based. If you watch this part of the interaction, this guy is clearly not going with the program. He's not doing what he's supposed to be doing. But the officer is still really courteous with him. And you're not getting back in that car. Like, I'm going to go in that car for your wallet. You're going to go in the back of my car in handcuffs.
Grab me my right right there. Right there.
No. Stop. Put your hands right. Stop. 1950.
All right. I hope you guys caught that.
Got one run.
Right there. His walkie's in his hand. For the love of God, why doesn't he have a microphone? It's a lot easier to chase somebody with your microphone right here. It's a lot easier to air for backup with your microphone right here. It's a lot easier to hear your radio when your microphone is right here. This crap where you don't have a mic, I don't know what that's about. I don't know if it's that officer's choice. I don't know if Grand Rapids doesn't equip their guys with microphones. I don't know, but that's unacceptable. It's actually, yeah, Jeff, that was the first thing I noticed when I watched the body camera. The officer actually does a very good job if you consider the fact that he has to keep shuffling things in his hands I mean, it's incredible. But he does a fantastic job catching up to this guy.
Short foul. Stop. Stop.
Okay. Dang.
Stop. Stop.
Okay.
Get your hands behind your back.
Okay.
Hands behind your back.
Okay.
Get your hands behind your back.
Okay.
1950. 34 cars.
So remember, he has this suspect who's not a small person on the ground. He's holding him down basically with one arm, has to reach back, get his walkie out, talk on his walkie, and then put his walkie back. People who think that this officer went through his uses of force and escalated the continuum too quickly, you don't know what you're looking at. And that's the problem. And the standard isn't, what somebody with no police experience and no training believes. The standard is what a reasonable officer would believe. So far in this interaction, at any point, has the officer been rude and discourteous to the guy? Has he looked like he's someone who is looking to use excessive force? I really don't think so.
Okay.
Stop.
Okay.
Stop resisting.
At this point, the officer is already full-blown exhausted. They had a little run. His adrenaline is already through the roof. When you hear the breathing and stuff like that, I was watching it earlier today, and I was like, man, is this officer really that out of shape? But when the guy ran, he caught up to him really quickly. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say it's not necessarily that he's out of shape. It's that the adrenaline, like when you're in one of these situations, even when you're not physically exerting yourself, that adrenaline is like, it goes up a notch and your heart rate goes up, and like you can hear your heart rate in your ears, and everything swells up and your breathing picks up. And then you have to add some physical exertion to that. It takes it to a whole another level. And that's what you're hearing here. It's hard if you're not used to it, because to just a common person, they would think this officer is just out of shape and he shouldn't be in his job.
What do you do?
Let go of the taser.
What's the problem?
Let go of the taser.
All right, so the next part of the video is when it goes to the cell phone video. Oh, you know what? No, the next part of the video is this. It's like a ring camera or something. The officers, I don't know if you guys can see my cursor on screen, but the officer's up there by the car. You see him run and you see him kind of go all over the place. I'm going to go ahead and skip over that part. If you want to watch that part for yourself, feel free, but there's basically no sound. And it's that same 2 minutes and 30 seconds that we've already experienced with the cruiser camera. And then now we're back to the cell phone footage. So after watching the cruiser camera and seeing the guy, getting out of the car, fooling around, seeing how the officer tried to be nice to him, and then he took off, and you got to see all of that running around and everything that they've done. Now watch this short cell phone video again and tell me if it's changed your perspective at all.
Yeah.
1915. Start with some more cars.
Okay.
No, he said he's good, but man, yo, what's up, man?
Get the key.
Stop.
Okay.
Stop resisting.
Get the key.
No, he good. He not resisting nothing, bro.
Yo, come on, man. Get the key. What did you do? Come on.
Okay, why you gotta do all that, bro? He good, man.
Let go of the taser. Let go of the taser.
No, like he good. Like you can talk to him, bro.
Ah.
Yeah. Like he good, bro. Like, can you talk to him like good? Like, can you? Yeah. Stop grabbing him like that.
No.
No, he good like for real. Yo, you hit him too. Hit that shit, bro.
Let go of the taser.
No, he ain't got no taser. I see that.
Let go of the taser.
Yeah.
I meant to try to pause it at the end, but I ended it too abruptly. Let me see if this will work. Right there. And actually, there was a good moment there where you could see that the officer was kind of sprawled on him. The suspect has the taser under him, and he's trying to roll away from the officer. He could roll over, get that taser up, and he could pop the officer. That's why the officer's kind of going for a ride with him. But he was able to posture pretty well with his offhand trying to control that taser and draw his weapon. The way he did the maneuver, it was actually pretty good. I believe that the officer probably has some training. The problem is just he was in a very, very long fight with somebody that was bigger than him and able to physically control him, and there was no backup. He got to a point where he felt that this was his only option. And if you watch the whole video in real time, which I'm not going to show here, just because YouTube, I'm not even sure if the discharge was intentional or not, but I don't know that it matters. Because he had a suspect who was now armed, and he had to treat that suspect as if they were armed. So he was still in a physical fight with an armed suspect, and he drew his weapon. When he gets his gun hand up, it goes off and it shoots the guy right in the back of the head. I don't know what he was. I can't speak to his motivation at that time. He may have very well thought, you know what? I'm completely exhausted. This guy's going to overpower me. He's going to kill me, and I need to defend myself. So he did. But I can tell you that after watching all of the footage, I have a completely different take than I did the first time. And a couple of takeaways that I had from this that is frustrating when you look at all the Twitter nonsense and all the politicians and Grand Rapids. I tried to look at some stuff about Grand Rapids Police Department earlier today, and I'm not very good at memorizing facts, but I think they have just under 300 officers. And I was looking at their budget proposals and all that, and you go through it, and it's got all this stuff about defunding the police proposals and all this other kind of stuff. So it doesn't look like the officers are in the most officer friendly environment up there. And there's a lot of citizens calling for defunding of the police, and that's happening around the country. When you make those statements, I want you to think about shootings like this, because I can guarantee you that if they had more officers on the department and more officers on the street, his backup would have been a lot closer, and he would have been less likely to have a use of deadly force in this situation. So I don't know. Those were my main takeaways from this video. And Blue Pepper, you're killing me. Like I know that you're a good dude. We've had conversations. Some of the stuff you're saying is just a little silly today, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Brett, thank you very much for the $10 super chat. That was very nice of you. You don't have to do that every single live stream, but I do really appreciate it. And I didn't get a chance to see if you replied back to my comment about the concept too. I'll go back and check those later. Let's see. So that was basically what I had to say about the video. I didn't have a script in my head. I really wanted to just kind of wing it and give you my honest, kind of as raw as I can thoughts as I went through the video. I hope that, I don't know, I hope it meant something to some of you guys, just to get my real raw perspective on it as someone who's a police officer who I think I'm fairly well trained. I do a pretty good job on the street. I've had some bad fights in my career. Yeah. And like, it was funny because initially when I saw the video, I was like, oh man, this is another taser dependency case. You know, this is an officer who's just dependent on his taser. And I was going to come on here and I was going to tell stories about how I've only used my taser 2 times in my career and give detailed descriptions of those, which I've done in a video before. But then after watching all the footage, I didn't feel like that was appropriate. So, I don't know. Let's go. I want to read some of the comments. And I noticed, Mark and Christy, you asked me a comment a way long time ago. You asked if I've ever turned in a police officer that was doing something dishonest, or would I? I think that was your question. I remembered it. I saw it. You know, I made a video about how we find bad cops a while back, and kind of my take on that is that those guys don't reveal themselves to me. They never have in the past. I've had a couple of good friends that are looking at doing a lot of time, and I had no idea that stuff was going on. Since I've never been in that situation, I can't tell you with 100% certainty what I would do. I would like to believe that I would do the right thing and that I would come forward with that information. But just like a situation where, you know, we've seen officers who are accused, like it's a good video out there of an officer who was relatively new to his department, had a suspect pull a gun on him and pointed at him, and the officer didn't fire. Those situations do happen. I've never been in that situation. I would like to think I would not hesitate the way that officer did. But having not been in that situation, I'm not going to say with 100% certainty that I would do it 100% right. So I would like to think that if I came across a dishonest police officer, I'd be the one that would turn him in. But I haven't been in that situation, so I can't say it for certain. Something really crazy just happened in the chat. Tom Sheets came through with a very large donation, and then also Angie. I can't leave them up, both of you, and I know you're not doing it for recognition, but that's incredible. That's awesome. Thank you very much. I sincerely appreciate that. man, some of the stuff I do, I don't necessarily give all the details. But I've spent a little money on some people recently at work, and you guys just replenished it. So thank you very much. All right, back to the live stream instead of me just gushing over you guys. Let's see. Pesky Citizen Chris, that's a funny name. He was fighting. It was wet in the rain. Makes it even more dangerous for the officer. Who else is here? I work in my community. I chat with you. I think you have a good heart. Thank you, Kathleen. That was nice. I would like to think that I have a good heart too. See. There was something that I saw. Oh, Matt. Thank you very much. That's awesome. You guys are cool tonight. This is like we're at 88. We're about the same number we were at last time. Most of the same faces. There's some new ones. Let me see. Albert Einstein. Do you think there was anything else he could have done, in my opinion? Yes. I will say that in these situations, almost all of them could have been handled differently. In a perfect world, he would have hung on to the back of that guy and not let go, not gone to his firearm, and his back would have arrived. The guy would have been arrested, and they both would have eventually gone home. But that's not the way it worked out. So it is what it is. Like it's one of those things, and I hope I'm being clear when I say this stuff. Like, I would like to think that if I was the officer in that situation, I wouldn't have drawn my taser or my firearm. I would like to think that that's the way I would have handled that situation. But I am also going to say that the officer was not wrong for making the decisions that he made. It was 8 a.m. I don't know what time they do shift change. That could have been square in the middle of their shift change. That's what it sounded like when the other cars were en route. There was like 6 cars coming. I got the impression that they were in like roll call, and that he's out here stopping a car. They're sitting at roll call and they don't have their walkies on. Why would they? I don't have my walkie on at roll call most of the time. And he knows that. He's like, oh crap. He's like, I'm out here on the street and I just had a stolen car drive by. I've got it. He felt like he had to act. So he acted. He pulled over the car. He got into a tremendous fight. And in his opinion, in his mind, nobody was coming. There was no help on the way. He had to get himself out of the situation or he might die. And he acted the way he acted. I feel pretty confident that this guy is going to be cleared. It's going to be really frustrating for him given the political environment that he's dealing with up there. I already saw that the governor and lieutenant governor are making it sound like this guy who fought with a police officer and did all these things is a victim in this case. And even if the officer didn't handle it perfectly, this is something I say on the channel a lot. If the citizens do everything perfectly, the officer, then this probably wouldn't have happened either. Well, it 100% wouldn't have happened. The guy wouldn't have gone to jail. He would have gotten a ticket. His car would have been impounded, and the officer might have even given them a ride. Instead, it went this other way. So, yeah. I missed the comment. Was it Paul that said it? The dude should have started running as soon as he opened the door. Probably. I don't want to give him any ideas though. Gene, it's nice to see you here. I didn't know if you're going to be here today. And here's something that I want to say, Brett, and I'm highlighting your comment just because it's such a popular comment. People talk about shootings being justified. This is just one of those things that I'm not a fan of that terminology. because then people will say, well, you're not justified in killing somebody just because their license plate doesn't match. And we all know that's not what happened. Um, it was a legal use of force. You know, at the end of the day, it's going to be deemed legal. I don't like the word justified, because people have they've bastardized the word justice. You know, we have environmental justice, we have racial justice, we probably have gender justice for all I know. And to those people, the word justice means like retaliation, or it's almost justice itself is used as a weapon. So using the term justify is just not something I like to do. And I would encourage other people to find other ways to express themselves. And that's just like a personal pet peeve of mine, that I might be the first person who ever said that, but that's just kind of my take on it. Let's see. I have like a minute left because I want to go tuck my kids in and then go have a drink with my wife before I go to bed. So, see, I'll even make my face bigger, which I'm not a fan of my face per se, but, anything else before we go? Tell me quickly, if you could, is that an okay live stream format? Like, do you like me doing breakouts like this, or breakdowns like this live, or would you rather me, like, be more scripted or be more precise? I personally, I like I like to be able to think my way through things and talk my way through things. If I try to do it scripted, then I try to be perfect, and I don't feel like I'm ever perfect. So I'll spend a lot of time trying to make it right, and I'm never usually happy with it. So I kind of enjoy doing these kinds of videos live, and this might be a good way for me to do a lot of my live streams. So I don't know. Let me know. Let's see. Live, then maybe straight to video after you're done, so we can. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Flywheel. I was literally about to say, because I can't sit here and stall forever, and I don't even remember what the chat live stream delay is, so I can't necessarily sit here and wait for all the replies to come in. But let me know in the comments on the actual video when it's out, because those don't go away. And for all the people who don't get to watch it live, they'll watch the replay. I don't know. I'm curious if you like this kind of format. I kind of do. Yeah, it's not the next Joe Rogan show, but I appreciate the sentiment. I do. I am a regular guest on the Poorly Made Police Memes podcast, which I meant to talk about in the beginning, but I had that YouTube video that was playing. I was on the podcast again. What am I? Season 2, episode 2 or 3. He called it "Thank You for Your Service." It's got a picture of me on the thumbnail. So we went on for about 2.5 hours. It was, in my opinion, it was the best episode I've been on. I really enjoyed it. Told some really heartfelt stories on that one, and had a really good time with. Larry is no longer on the podcast. He's now Lenny. But me and him have become good buddies, and I enjoy doing his podcast. So if you like more of the long format type stuff, go spend some more time on his podcast, and give some love to his sponsors, and tell him that I sent you, because he gets a kick out of that kind of stuff. So anyway, can I leave a link? Well, if you go anywhere that podcasts are and you type in "Poorly Made Police Memes," you'll find it. Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff. If I do a link, it'll just be to Spotify, or go to his Instagram. I think he also has links there, Instagram and Facebook. But he's a great dude. Former cop. One of these days, I'm gonna get him on a live stream, and then we'll talk a lot about him. So anyway, I am rambling. I need to go spend some time with my wife and kids. For everyone that donated, I appreciate you so much. It really, honestly, means a lot to me. I can't say it enough. For everyone that didn't donate, thank you very much for coming by. I enjoy this. I enjoy hanging out with you guys. I enjoy talking to you. And when you guys are curious about things, I like being able to explain that to you. So I'm enjoying this process quite a bit. Thank you all for coming tonight. We are at 74 because I'm losing people. So I'm out. Y'all have a happy Easter. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon.